A mansion is an indication of riches. Having a private jet also makes it obvious to everyone that you are well off. When it comes to luxury, though, there is one element that stands out above all others. Having your own private island falls under this category. Soaking up the sun while holding a beverage. It may sound like a dream to be miles from the closest human, but it's an expensive one. Today, we'll examine the price tag and seek a resolution to the important query. Is possessing an own island worthwhile? Obviously, purchasing the island itself is the first significant outlay involved in owning a private island. You do, after all, dream of cabanas in the pristine sand and perhaps even a golf course on the island's northern tip. But choosing the ideal site to lay a foundation and bring those ambitions to life is the first step in the process. Consequently, the price of your island varies greatly depending on where you purchase. Consider Canada, which has the greatest number of private islands up for sale worldwide. Islands can be purchased for less than $200,000, and if you're really watching your budget, you can even snag one for less than $100,000. For approximately $65,000 less than the price of the typical home, you may own an island in Nova Scotia dubbed Half Island. This 6-acre island is for sale and it's only a mile from the mainland. There is a catch to that price though. Sure, you may have your little piece of heaven for $65,000 at least during the summer. Neighboring half islands can get wintertime lows of negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Living on the island is only possible in the summer. It can be difficult to procure supplies, particularly during the summer months. Most likely, when you picture a private island, you don't see a hot, secluded place. You imagine places with sand beaches and palm trees where flip-flops are an appropriate dress. You probably have an image of the Caribbean, which is made up of thousands of islands with hills, long beaches, and clear waters. The Caribbean is a wonderful spot to create the tropical haven of your desire, and there are many islands to choose from. Surprisingly, the costs aren't that expensive. Or you may buy an island for between $1 and $3 million if you're content with a smaller, more isolated plot of land. However, the cost of a larger island in one of the Caribbean's most well-liked and attractive regions can range from $30 million to $100 million. The Exumas, the Abaco Islands, and the Berry Islands are a few of the well-known island groups. In particular, islands in these chains have a benefit that distant islands do not. They are convenient for owners and visitors because they are near larger cities. Consider the Akshumus Spectabilis Island. The island is located just 232 miles from Miami and 60 miles from the nation's capital. It spans 460 acres and has numerous white sand beaches, gorgeous hilltop vistas, and plenty of potential building areas. Although it is expensive, it is also convenient and has the added benefit of allowing one to claim ownership of an island in the Exumas. Then there are the Caribbean islands that are farther away, such as the tiny Ragged Island, a $35 million listing for a 700-acre island. You receive nearly twice as much land for a good deal less money, and that's not all. The little Ragged Island has 2 ponds, giving you access to fresh water. It also has 30,000 feet of shoreline, or 5.6 miles, and you'll have the entire 5.6 miles of shoreline to yourself because the 110-mile-long Ragged Island chain is incredibly underdeveloped with just one tiny town with a population of 72. In other words, you'd be better off not purchasing this island. All the islands we've looked at have something in common. If you have any desire to visit a nearby nightclub or eat at a high-end restaurant, regardless of the price range or location. Building a house on a private island shouldn't be a problem if you have the money to do so, right? Well, not exactly, because you're not simply paying for the island when you purchase a private one, the land to put a house on. Not at all. There are many more factors involved. To begin with, You must ascertain whether you may construct on the island. Because the region's nature is so delicate, places like the Caribbean have tight environmental regulations on construction. An environmental impact analysis is necessary before you make any alterations to the island you purchased. Additionally, the environmental impact analysis is not inexpensive. You should budget at least $50,000 for it. In Canada, where endangered animals may reside on islands in lakes and the ocean, the same environmental rules are also often used. After all, you wouldn't want to evict such adorable tiny creatures. Will you please look at him leaving? If there is more than an acre of buildable ground on the island, you can only construct in Ontario. In other words, unless you feel like camping, buying a tiny island for the price of your paycheck isn't worth it. Numerous environmental protection requirements will increase the cost of construction, in addition to the pricey environmental analysis that is conducted before you build. Entrance to the island is strictly controlled. Methods for gathering water, generating electricity, and how to save stunning oceans and lakes. So keep in mind how much that will increase the bill in addition to the normal cost of constructing a home. But environmental concerns aside, there are many additional logistics to consider. First, there is the cost of transporting building supplies to the island. Heavy building equipment needs to be transported to the island, which calls for specialized boats. After spending thousands of dollars to have the supplies delivered to your door, you'll need to have expert builders, plumbers, and electricians working on the island every day. You will incur significant expenses just to bring your construction workers to the job site if your island is hundreds of miles from the closest town with lodging, as is the case with Little Ragged Island and the Caribbean. You must also create a path to the island using your chosen mode of transportation. If you want to access the island fast, well, you can build an airstrip, but most are expected to cost more than $1 million, according to estimates. A dock for boats or a helipad is both less expensive options for access by seaplane too. You'll still have to pay a fair sum for these though. An established island is simpler to purchase than an undeveloped one. Take Frozen Cay, which is situated in the Bahamas' very island chain. The $17 million island, which encompasses 40 acres, is easily reachable by both seaplane and boat. White sand beaches, dense forests, and a massive 4,145 square foot home with 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms are all hallmarks of this location. Oh, naturally, there is a heated swimming pool as well. There are also 2 staff cottages, one measuring 1,534 feet and the other 806 square feet, as well as a marina that can handle yachts up to 100 feet long. But as Frozen Cay points out, maintaining private islands comes at yet another price. If you're wealthy enough to rent a private island, it's likely that you have a job and can't just spend your days lounging on the beach, sipping pina coladas. Although I spent most of the video discussing the expenses related to having a private island, there's also a chance to earn money as well when you're not living there. The rentals on private islands are incredibly popular with wealthy people like me. The minimum daily cost for islands like Swanee Cay in the Bahamas is $14,000. Swanee Cay would generate at least $5 million if it were rented out solely as a double occupancy for every day of the year at the lowest rate. Having your retreat kilometers away from the nearest person is a thrill unlike any other. Sipping wine on your deck. If you wish, you can stand on the beach in your underwear because it's your island. You set the rules. People fantasize about having their own islands for a variety of reasons. It's finally time to address the major question. Is it beneficial to purchase your own island? That is up to you to decide. Are the exorbitant expenses, time-consuming regulations, and laborious shipping of construction supplies and amenities worth lazing on a home-like island? What are your thoughts? What would you call your private island if you owned one? Please let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm Miss Luxurious signing off. For now, don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Luxzoid, to explore all the islands, vacations, and oceans-related videos.